Today's lesson will cover why it is important to use information ethically. This video will explain the main reason for citing sources, as well as how citations support the ethical use of information. When researching, it is important to be honest about where your information comes from. Ethical researchers always give credit for every idea, word, or image that isn't theirs, even if they are paraphrasing or summarizing someone else's ideas. In doing this, they engage in conversations with other scholars in a way that helps them differentiate their ideas from those of others. In another lesson, Why Scholars Use Sources, the idea of the scholarly conversation is introduced. When writing ethically, it is important to keep this concept in mind. As a researcher, you are contributing to a conversation on a topic by building upon the work of other researchers. By acknowledging the work of other scholars, you are helping readers understand how your ideas build upon the context of what you are referencing. Citing sources also gives you credibility because it demonstrates that you've researched a topic and have clearly indicated where you're getting your information from. This allows the reader to evaluate the depth and quality of your research and analysis. Citation credits the sources you've consulted for their work and clearly indicates to the reader which thoughts are your own and which are those of the sources you're referencing. For these reasons, it is important to cite not only direct quotes, but also the thoughts, ideas, and works of others. Generally, you should cite your source of information for anything in your research that is not your original work or considered common knowledge, something readers are likely to already know or could be easily found in a general reference source. If you aren't sure whether or not to cite something, it is always best practice to go ahead and cite it. Next, let's look at an example of what citing something ethically looks like. In this example, we can see multiple ways in which the source is being ethically cited. First, the author is paraphrasing this part of Arthur's 1999 work, which is indicated by the in-text citation at the end of the sentence. Next, we see that these quotations indicate a direct quote from author's work. Then we see that the source has a proper APA in-text citation. Finally, it is important to remember that all in-text citations should have a corresponding entry on the reference page. When conducting research, it is important to remember that you are in a conversation with other scholars. To do this ethically, it is important to always cite your sources and give credit to the ideas of others. For more help, visit lib.ua.edu. Thank you, and see you next time.